This is a solution to number 59 from the course review. So the situation in this question given is that a bouncy ball bounces to 3/5 of its height when dropped on a hard surface. Suppose the ball is dropped from 45 meters. So the first part of the question is, what height will the ball bounce back up to after the 7th bounce? So firstly, we have to decide what type of question this is. This question would be a series question, and that's easy to tell because something, in this case height, is changing by a constant ratio. And that also leads us into which type of series this is. Is this geometric or arithmetic? Because the height is decreasing by a constant ratio, this would be a geometric series question. And the definition of a geometric series is a series in which the consecutive terms have a constant ratio, and that matches our scenario perfectly. So to begin, for question A, we need to put down what variables we are given. So A is the initial value, and we know that R is the ratio, and N is the term number. So in our case, the initial value is actually not 45, which most people might think because it is the initial height of the ball, but it's actually 45 times 3/5, because the first question asks about the height after the 7th bounce. So the question starts when the ball has already bounced, and by the time it's already bounced the first time, it would be 3/5 of the initial height, which was 45. So once you do that, you get 27 meters as your initial. For your ratio, that's just your 3/5, and your end term would just here be 7, because you're trying to find out what the value for term number 7 is. So we're gonna go ahead and use the formula Tn equals A R n minus 1, because we're just trying to find the value of one term and not the sum. So then you just go ahead and plug in your variables. So n is 7 in this part, A is 27, and R is 3/5. Then n is still 7 minus 1. And once you complete that, you end up with 1.26, and that's in meters. And that would be your answer to question part A. And then moving on to part B, over here, it's asking what is the total distance traveled by the ball after 12 bounces. So because they're asking for the total distance, we know that we have to use the formula for the sum of a series, which is the one with Sn and not the one we used earlier. So we're just going to go ahead and jot that down. So the formula we would use is Sn equals A R to the n minus 1 all over R minus 1. So in this time, our n would be 12, because we're trying to find the total distance traveled by after 12 bounces. So we go ahead and plug it in as 12, and then our initial value is still 27, and our R stays the same to the 12, because this time we've changed our n value, minus 1, and all over 3 over 5 minus 1. So once you have calculated the numerator, just divide that by 3/5 minus 1, and you end up with a value of 67.35 meters. However, this isn't, we're not done yet, and I'm just going to go ahead and erase this. We're not done here, because they want the total distance traveled by the ball after 12 bounces, and in order to answer the question properly, you have to define the bounce as a journey taken by the ball between two impacts. So to determine the total distance traveled by the ball, you have to look at it up until the 11th impact. And so the ball will basically travel double the sum of the first 12 heights. And so this is just telling you how much the ball went down, but because the ball is bouncing, it's going the same distance down as up. So you would have to take this number and multiply by 2 to accommodate for the fact that it's going up and down each time. Once you do that, you get 134.7 meters. And for the last step, you have to add the initial amount that the ball dropped, because it traveled that much as well. Because in this question, they're not asking after how much was the total distance after the bounce, but the total distance traveled overall up until the 12th bounce. So you have to add the value that the ball traveled initially, which is 45 meters. And once you do 134.7 plus 45 meters, you end up with the answer of 179.7 meters. And that is your final answer for question 59. So in conclusion, we can just go ahead and check our answers in the textbook. And so as you can see here, for question A, they got 1.26 meters, which is what we got earlier when we worked it out. And then for question part B, they got 179.7 meters, which is what we got. I be down to die for all the ones I love. Too bad they don't think I really love them. They don't understand that it's just so many of them. Hustles got so many of them. Everybody